Brandon Ayuk is done for the year with the torn ACL, and everyone wants to know, what should I do with Ricky Pearsall? Should I add him off the waiver wire? Should I expect him to be a league winner? And we're going to dive into the tape and answer that question for your fantasy football leagues. We'll set the expectations for what you believe Ricky Pearsall should be. And while even if he's a must-add waiver wire player, how good will he actually be in the 2024 fantasy football season? Let's dive right into it, and we're going to kick things off by watching Pearsall's college film. I watched the All-22 from this game against the Gamecocks, South Carolina, and also LSU. They both told me pretty much the same thing, but I'm going to be pulling the clips from the South Carolina game, and then we'll hop into the 5 targets he had in his NFL debut. So we're kind of just going to break this down from where he wins on the field and how he wins. First clip, we are going to see a nice little outbreaking route. It's going to be pretty simple. Man playing way off him, and how is he going to treat that leverage? He does a very good job here. He recognizes early that this defender is not going to be able to cover him if he can just break to this part of the field on a nice clean cut. Now, this is something that he needs to do extremely well if he's going to be utilized in this quick 49ers passing offense. And he does, gets to the outside, makes the catch, is able to get some extra yards after. So the short part of his game to the outside numbers, or intermediate game as well, is going to be very crucial. And he does a good job right here, finding these players that are actually able to make sharp cuts rather than just kind of have a round, loopy cut to the outside is going to be very important. This play right here is going to be a corner route, so a bit deeper down the field. It's going to be a pretty simple route because he basically rubs his teammate. We'll see this right here. The two pretty much bump right into each other here, so he's not really forced to make a super sharp cut. Nonetheless, it's fine. Does a good job getting to the numbers, and of course, he's in between two defenders here. There's no one manned up on him, so fantastic job by Pearsall, and recognizes that. And he's finding basically the exact soft spot on the defense where he needs to be, turns upfield, gives a few extra yards. Now, these are where some of my concerns start to come in because Pearsall only had 4 touchdowns last year. He had 5 the year before. And on an offense like Florida, where you have a solid quarterback in Graham Mertz and you're an older prospect, that's something I really would like to see higher, especially for fantasy football. And when you're playing in the 49ers offense and they have so many other talented weapons, I just don't see Pearsall getting a lot of run in the red zone. And right here, this also kind of is going to show his route running ability as well. So earlier, it looked really good on those 2 routes to the outside. But here, we're going to see him try and leverage his man. Kind of gives I don't know. That was a pretty lazy pump fake, in my opinion. We'll run that back. I was just never fooled. He never really moves his head. His head is kind of looking this way the whole time. You'll see it never cuts back to the inside. And the defender can basically tell right away. His head never moves. It's always on this angle, cut towards the outside. So he automatically knows that Pearsall's not cutting in, and that's very clearly a fake. Because of that, he tries to get to the outside. The defender's all up on him, and it's a bad throw because if it was a good throw, 3 had a step in on him. He was right in front of him. That would have been a pick 6. So, again, Pearsall showed fantastic route running at times. Those first few plays, though they were close to the boundary, they were pretty easy routes to run. We'll also see it later on. He makes some nice moves. But I think one of the reasons why people had him projected in the second round and he ended up going to the late first is because he has moves like this where he just doesn't do the little things. He doesn't get the proper technique down. He's not quite polished as a route runner. And that's just one example, obviously. But I saw that definitely throughout the film where he's going to have a ton of good plays. He's going to have a ton of plays that pop out to you. But he's also going to have a few plays like that where it's just clearly not going to fly at the NFL level when these college cornerbacks know exactly what he's doing and he's not able to generate space like he did here. That last clip is going to be one of the more negative clips I have, but it's going to be followed up by a ton of positive things. Right here, we're going to see how he works in the middle of the field because, again, short, quick to the ball is going to be crucial with what the 49ers want to do. Does a great job. Again, I think something that he was talked a lot about as a route runner, but so far in film, he really showed that he just finds the exact soft spot on the defense where he needs to be. He's right between about 1, 2 defenders, sits down, catches it, and also turns upfield as well. Doesn't let the ball, pop out or lose sight of it. But he does a good job kind of corralling the ball and turning upfield and getting those extra yards rather than just staying stationary, dropping down, and picking up a, 5 less yards per se. Yet another route to the middle, but here's something I want to highlight that I actually don't like what Pearsall does. So first watch, we're going to actually run this back. We'll see, pretty simple, takes a long time to get the ball. That's not his fault though. That's the quarterback. He should be looking right there immediately on that quick read, but he's not. I don't know why, if that was play design or just Graham Mertz's fault. But what he messes up on is the cornerback. You saw him blitz, right? This guy is occupying this cornerback on the outside. No way, he's not looking at Pearsall at all. This linebacker is going to drift over this way, and that means the only player that can stop Pearsall is this safety, right? So he's going to want to get into this zone as soon as possible, because if he hangs on to the ball for 3-4 seconds, that's going to give the safety to recognize what's happening and crash down. But what does Pearsall do? You'll see in a second. He cuts like he's trying to fake to the outside, and it's kind of hard, so I'll run this in full speed. He clearly plants like he's trying to fake going on and out or up the field, but he's not faking anyone. There's no cornerback on him. All he's doing is making a false step to give this safety time to come crash on him. That's not gonna be what NFL coaches want to see at the next level. And in the NFL, you're not going to have all this time to throw a simple slant route or a sit down. That's going to be bottled up immediately, and that's just going to be completely taken away. So it doesn't seem like a big deal on the film. Again, I know we're talking about a little slant route on a small mistake, but that kind of stuff is going to have him playing behind guys like Jawan Jennings, obviously Deebo Samuel, who are very experienced route runners and aren't going to be making that kind of mistake. Let's go back to the positive side of things, though, and look at some deep shots. Here, Pearsall's kind of going to run a little crosser to the opposite side of the field. And here, I actually really like what he does with this route. Kind of breaks up the middle, does a little double move like he's going to do a slot fade almost down the sideline, and then runs directly towards the middle. Does a good job with his head keeping it down. He doesn't really look the other way, but he also doesn't just keep it pivoted and planted, looking exactly where he wants to go the whole time. Is found, has the space, great job hauling it in and getting a few yards after the catch. Good job seeing him utilized deep down the field right there. This isn't going to be a target, but it's a nice double move, fakes the outside and comes back towards the middle. And this is kind of just like the two-sidedness of Pearsall's route running, right? This is a fantastic route. Good job, chops the defender down. 24 is completely bought in that he's running this out route and comes right back on the inside, has all the space in the world. The ball's already gone by this time, but he has all this space to make a catch and run. Obviously, quarterback, if he just held on to that for a second longer, he could have had an easy completion in Pearsall, but that's just what I see out of Pearsall right now. He makes some bonehead mistakes. He makes just a few small things that work at college that will make it harder for him to get open deeper down the field and just in general in the NFL. But at the same time, he has a lot of upside and he has the potential to be a fantastic receiver. But I think that's going to take a few years because he has a ton of upside. I'm just not sure it's all there and all polished right now. Again, Pearsall doing the hard stuff right. Double move, basically the exact same route he ran last time, except he's going to fake to the outside corner right here. Fantastic job. And this is a great job with his head as well. You can see his head is not pointed at all towards the inside. In fact, it looks like it's going to the outside. So great job. Has his defender guessing he's already leaning this way. He's about ready to fall over. And he just cuts it right up the middle. Finds the seam, gets between these two defenders. And that's a touchdown. Fantastic route there by Pearsall. For everyone watching right now, we want to give you a ton of perks and benefits that we're probably not going to be able to do for that much longer. We're opening up our membership for the Fantasy Trading Room. It's the best way to support us, and you're going to get so many different perks just from one of these 3 tiers. In tier 1, it only is $2.99 to become a sleeper. You'll get loyalty badges, a few custom emojis, and most importantly, you'll get a free 2-month trial on fantasytradingroom.com, which has a ton of other perks over there. That's $10 in value. Total each month is $4.99, without the free trial, and you're getting that for $2.99 here. You also get priority replies to comments, so if you have personal advice, that's where you're going to get a ton of questions answered. And if you put an emoji next to your question, we will potentially even answer that in a video. We will pick one fantasy football question of the week so you can get your question answered in depth in a YouTube video where thousands of people will see it. We also have another perk, which is $4.99. That is the contender tier. You'll get early access to our videos, everything from the tier before, and member shoutouts to thousands of people that are watching the video. And lastly, we have the league winner tier, which is $14.99, everything from before, except you will get to request a film breakdown from us. So you'll get to ask us a player to break down one per month. We will do it. We will post it on YouTube for everyone to see. If you guys do enjoy our content, I would highly, highly recommend getting in early and getting in one of these tiers because the value is so good right now as we're just starting out. So now we're in the NFL, and this is Pearsall's first target of the game. And I think what we saw in college of him making all those incredible double moves kind of contribute to some of these struggles as well, at least early on. Right here, you're going to see him chop his feet. It looks like he's just trying to do too much, because these NFL corners are way more disciplined, way less likely to get out of position. And here we see, he's not fooled. He's sticking with Pearsall the whole time. Absolutely nowhere to go. He turns around, but it's not even close. Just not a sliver of separation for Pearsall right here on his first target. Next play right here, and I really like this actually. Again, I think this is the tale of two sides with Ricky Pearsall. Has a pretty bad route right there, but comes back with a great one, showcasing his ability to be a great player, but it seems more so down the line because it's not a consistent basis. Pretends like he's going to the outside, and that's a really quick cut. That's a really good fake. That is what he needs to do in the NFL level because this defender is going to jump on him, but because he gets it so fast, he has enough separation with him playing off that he's able to come get the ball, hang on to it, fantastic catch. Nice to see him used towards the middle of the field and towards the line of scrimmage. At this point, we're just going back and forth with every play. This is going to be a kind of curl route, but to be honest, it's run so poorly, I don't even know what it is. He tries to beat his man to the outside and comes back. Just gets blanketed. He also makes a nice attempt at this catch, but it's going to pop out, as you can see. After just really nothing to say here except the route running there is clearly not where it needs to be. It's not good enough to beat NFL corners on all these different route trees. I think that he definitely has a ton of upside, and there are a ton of explosive. He's a very good route runner on certain stems, but is he the complete package? Right now, it's looking like the answer is no. You're not going to see Ricky Pearsall make two bad plays in a row very often, though, because this play, it is pretty simple. Again, he's not being used deep down the field and given a chance to show his incredible hands, but does a good job giving a quick fake to the inside, catches it, turns upfield. It's nice to see him getting targeted towards the line of scrimmage, which is going to result in PPR points. Last play, bottom of your screen, basically the same thing. Does a nice little hard cut to the outside and gets open, recognizes that he has space. Purdy looking the whole way, uses his hands and catches that for a first down. Nice to see him move the chains there. But after watching these plays in the NFL, obviously it's the first game, so I don't want to overreact and say anything is definitive for sure. But it seems like Jawan Jennings, because I watched the film on him, is being used as a deep threat. They're using him deeper down the field, and they kind of just want Pearsall to develop as a route runner because, like we said, the potential is through the roof. We saw it, but it typically works better for him, at least where his skill set is right now, deeper down the field, which we didn't really see it all in this game, and that's just not exactly what Purdy is looking to do. So, do I think that in 2 years, Pearsall has the ability to be a fantastic receiver and will make those cuts, will make those, we'll do the little things that help him get targeted at a consistent basis near the line of scrimmage? Absolutely. But right now, he's probably just going to play a role if he's wide open, if it's going to be a pretty easy throw where he doesn't have to win a super tough route and it's not a ton of different routes in his route tree, they'll give him the ball. But otherwise, they're going to try and funnel to Debo when healthy. I do understand that Debo is probably going to be out, but I'm guessing it'll be 1 to 2 weeks max. And they're going to try and get the ball to even Jawan Jennings, who looked fantastic in the absence of these 49ers receivers earlier this year. After watching the film, we're going to answer the question we posed earlier in the video. Should you pick up Ricky Pearsall? And the answer for this is yes. He has a ton of upside. He's a project type player and has a lot of room to grow, which means you don't know necessarily what you're getting. And that's exactly what you want off the waiver wire. You don't want a guy that you know is going to score 8 points. You want a guy that might score 4 or 5 points, but he might score 15 points. With Pearsall, though, I don't think there's ever a path to him becoming a league winner. He's not going to be better than George Kittle. He's not going to be better than Deebo Samuel, and I can pretty much say that for a fact. So at best, he'll be the number 3 option, which won't give him low-end wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2 numbers. On top of that, CMC is coming back, so that's just another factor you have to deal with. It would have been a lot better if he had this at the beginning of the season and CMC was a lot further away, but I don't even believe he's going to play over Jawan Jennings, to be totally honest. I watched the film on Jennings. You can check that out on our channel as well. It will be linked in the description. But I liked what I saw out of Jennings more than him right now. I think there's a road for Pearsall to get on the field, but at the same time, I just don't see him putting it all together right now. He just hasn't shown me enough with his college film that it's polished. Unfortunately, he suffered that gunshot wound early in the year, so he's missed valuable time practicing, and I don't really think he's been able to clean up a lot of facets of his game. And that just unfortunately means that he's probably going to be the wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 at best, and he'll be a flex option that you can maybe put in if you're really desperate in a good matchup and hope that with the big play explosiveness that he has and with the upside he does possess, that he can go out there and make a big play and help out the 49ers that specific week. But if you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also, give us a join to our membership, and you will get a ton of perks there. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.